Okay, so Four Knights of the Apocalypse manga chapter 62 was just filled with craziness, and I don't even know where to begin with what is going on, as things that did not go as I expected, and I'm happy for that. And it looks like there's a strong possibility that a certain fan theory might end up being true, or at least have some sort of connection to be somewhat similar to it. And I'm just excited to see where the series goes from here, because it's obvious that Nakabutsuki is like building up to something, to like some good reveals that something's gonna happen. And Gawain is currently being like is giving off a lot of Escanor type vibes, which I'm not upset for. I'm all here for it. Also, if it sounds a little echoey, I had to change my location of where I'm recording, so I apologize if it like sounds like there's like a bit of an echo. I had to change to like my basement, which is a much wider area than where I usually record. So try to bear with it, as this is the only time I can record this video, so I can get the actual review out in time. Before we head into the actual video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. Also check out my Instagram and my Twitter accounts for when I post stuff regularly, and just to see whatever else I'm doing aside from just checking when I upload videos. And with that out of the way, let's hit that intro and get right into the review. So chapter 62 of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled The Start of a New Legend. And I like that this starts off right off where last week came off, with Pelgard literally calling everyone the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, but Gawain looking over is just wondering, wait, these are the prophesized knights? As Donnie and Anna just encouraging them to just try and kick Pelgard's ass. Pelgard is asking what they're going to do now, and Lancelot is actually saying, look man, if you're gonna run, it's best to just go ahead and do it now, much to the shock of the Holy Knights and Tristan just laying it in on him, just saying, you're just gonna let an enemy flee like that? We have to take him prisoner right here, right now. But Lancelot's just like, look, what does it matter? He's looking for a fight, he's not looking to kill anybody. And yeah, he's an enemy either way is Tristan's argument, and he even asks Gawain what she thinks of just letting the enemy go, and how much of a travesty it would be. And Gawain says just straight up kill the guy. He has to pay for calling me a little girl. Truly he deserves to die 1,000 deaths. Kind of shocking Tristan in the fact that he's like, you don't have to go that far. And yeah, Lancelot just saying, well, trouble's brewing. Well, Percival just goes off and walks towards Pelgard. And as Pelgard's wondering, well, what are you going to do? You ready to fight me now that you got your allies with you? And Percival just straight up tells him, in the end, I don't want to fight you. I just can't hate you the way I hate my dad or King Arthur. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is Percival being like a textbook shonen protagonist, good boy, being like, I don't want to fight you, I can't hate you. But in the grand scheme of things, it kind of makes sense. Pelgard wasn't out to kill anybody from the get-go. He didn't do any atrocious things that we know of, and he's just been an overall like jovial guy. Hell, in their fight, he literally just basically somewhat taught Percival about his magical power, and even was the one that categorized it. And he was just, the guy just straight up, he's like a Saiyan in the sense that he likes a good fight. And Percival can tell that he just doesn't want to attack or hurt anybody. Pelgard is an enemy knight. He literally could have just straight up used his blaze powers to just cause a scene and draw everyone in, but no, he decided to go to a more covert route and, give off a killer intent to like draw Knight's ear near him, just so he can have a fight and potentially find Percival. And Percival's goal, as he wants to make him his apprentice. So yeah, it kind of makes a whole lot of sense why Percival doesn't want to like full on fight him anymore, or at least right now. And he doesn't hate him like he did with Ironside. I mean, Ironside literally killed Percival in a very brutal way at the very beginning of the story, and was literally out to kill an entire town for ambiguous reasons, potentially to take down the Kingdom of Leonis. And King Arthur is, well, the leader behind all of it. So it makes sense why he'd hate those two the most, but not Pelgard. Pelgard hasn't done anything in his eyes that has done anything, and to us, the readers, he is, well, Arthur's knight, but it's not anything to deserve any real hatred. We get a still panel of Pelgard, as everyone's just wondering what's going on, what's he talking about? Pelgard says nothing, and Percival just keeps talking like, you might laugh and say I know nothing about you, but I can tell you're not a bad guy. That's the same with a lot of us readers. I mean, we do like Pelgard. He's like a fun character. And even Percival's like, is that strange of me to say? He's really just asking, you want me to sever ties with my master and join your side? He pats Percival on the head, and Percival just says, yeah. It's a nice small panel of his friend being like, wait, is Pelgard for real? But he didn't, almost like he's out, like Percival was making him waver, but Pelgard just grabs Percival and was like, forgive me. Unfortunately, that will not ever be the case, as he grabs a shield and rides it away with Percival in tow. Basically kidnapping Percival. Percival's not fighting back right now, but yeah, he makes his grand escape by taking Percival, which is his goal the entire time. His mace follows him, and Tristan decides to, book it to try and catch him, as Pelgard just throws a spell bead containing Perfect Cube, trapping the knights in Perfect Cube. With everyone wondering what they're going to do with it since he's taking away Percival. I want to just say one thing. I really hope that Percival's group doesn't fall towards the back seats in the story now the four knights are together. I mean, they're title characters and I want more of them together. But with all the build-up we had in the last 50 chapters for Percival's main group and gathering his whole crew, I want them to still play a much bigger role in the story, and I want them to grow stronger. Maybe not at the level of the four knights, but, I want them to be a bit more active in the story from this point onwards, as they have been as of this moment. Which, I see that happening. But yeah, Percival is being dragged away by Pelgard, saying that how he tricked them, and Percival's like, when did I trick you? But Pelgard's like, I understood you. I knew just how much of a pushover you actually are, and that's what he likes about him. As Percival just keeps saying like, come on, let me go, as... It's a small comedic scene. We cut back to the main group. Tristan's just freaking out. He has no chill whatsoever. With complete contrast to Meliodas, who most of the time has a pretty cool demeanor and tries to think things through. Tristan's just like, what are we gonna do? We can't get out of this. And is even questioning Lancelot, why didn't he attack him with his magic? And Lancelot's just like, well, I would have taken out Percival too. Is that what you wanted? But Lancelot says a very interesting line. And, not says it, he kind of thinks it. He's like, it's weird. For a second there, it was almost like Percival was making Pelgard waver in his convictions. And it goes back to what he said earlier when he says, I'm sorry, I'm afraid that will never be the case. Meaning that Pelgard, he probably would have left King Arthur. He doesn't seem like a guy that would be all up in arms with the Chaos Knights, but something is keeping him tethered to King Arthur, whether it be a vow of chaos or whatever, or maybe his own goal. It could be similar to Ardberg from the Demon Village arc, where he wanted his daughter to come back to life, or Arthur promised to bring back his loved one. So perhaps Pelgard is a similar way. But anyway, as the Holy Knights are getting ready to find someone to break Perfect Cube, Gawain knocks on it, says an enchantment that we can't hear, the words are scribbled out, and then Perfect Cube becomes undone. Tristan wondering what's going on, but he just I forget this, we gotta go get Percival, as he zooms towards Pelgard. And Lancelot confronts Gawain being like, you used absolute cancel just now, didn't you? Who the hell are you? As Gawain doesn't even pay Lancelot any mind, stating, heed my will, sacred sword, Lita. Okay, so I'll get back into that for a second, as Gawain after that seems to chant another spell and seemingly teleports away to, well, we're going to see her in a few seconds. But Tristan manages to catch up to Pelgard. Is like, really? He notices Tristan, but he also notices something else in front of him flying towards him. A big blade is hurtling towards him as Gawain appears right behind Pelgard and is ready to kill him right off the bat.
Red flag!
I like this panel because it shows Gawain just teleported to where the sword is going to be, grabs it, and is about to strike. And Pelgard's like, wait, where did you come from? And Gawain was like, I believe I told you I would kill you. And he's like, and Pelgard is just questioning, wait, you do this even though it would kill Percival along with me? And Gawain gives off the most sinister look, saying what do I care?
Is that also a red flag?
Crimson.
As Gawain just goes and slashes into Pelgard as he throws Percival away. From that slash, Percival would have been killed in that instance. I mean, Percival probably would have gotten revived with the power of his hope powers, similar to Ironside. But Pelgard literally threw Percival away so that he wouldn't die. And it seems like a very big gash in Pelgard, as he seems to be fairly injured, and Gawain is getting ready to fully end Pelgard right here and now. And Percival is telling her to stop as he activates his whole powers, punches Gawain out of the way, with Gawain giving off an even more sinister look towards Percival as the chapter ends. Okay, so a lot of things happened this chapter, like I said. Just unbelievable craziness. For one, Gawain is just... I don't know how to describe it. Gawain seems to come off as more of like a psychopath. Now, that's a stark contrast from Escanor. Now, people are going to say that Gawain is an Escanor clone. Which, okay, fair enough. She seems to have sunshine. Right now she has a sword called Lita, and Escanor's weapon was the Divine Axe Rita. I don't know if this is a translation thing. I don't know if Escanor's axe is also called Lita, and this is just a translation issue. I'm going off of that because I watched the anime, whatever, and I'm reading the manga again now. But anyway, so we are getting a lot of similarities between Escanor and Gawain. Only difference is, seems like Gawain can use Absolute Cancel, similar to Merlin, as well as using some sort of teleportation spell to teleport to where Pelgard is as she summons her sword towards her and slashes Pelgard in the most brutal way possible, showing just how much she just doesn't care. Now, saying how prideful Escanor is, he was not bloodthirsty. He enjoyed a good fight and honestly killed when he had no choice. And honestly, Escanor didn't have it wasn't like bloodthirsty. He fought and he killed when he needed to, but he didn't enjoy it. He just wanted to prove, in his pride form, he wanted to prove how strong he was, that he is the strongest. And to just show, and also, he's just confident in his own abilities is all. Gawain, well, yes, confident in her own abilities. We originally thought that she was going to be, okay, prideful, a bit arrogant. Even I stated that isn't one to take orders, and just going to do whatever the hell she wants, and they'll have to coordinate to try and take down Pelgard, as it would be kind of tricky. But no, turns out Gawain has other magics to use besides her core magic. She has a divine weapon, and she has bloodlust. So, she's willing to kill no matter what, even though she seems to have basically... She's so prideful, perhaps even more prideful than Escanor, to the fact that even a minor insult or misunderstanding could be like, yeah, off with your head. And that look of just sheer anger and disdain when Percival knocked her out of the way, and when and that whole like bloodlust-like panel, like almost demonic-like, is just incredibly just unsettling. How we're going to deal with Gawain right here and right now is still beyond me. There's a lot to unpack with Gawain, so we can just try and unpack that as the series progresses, why she's so bloodthirsty. But this chapter really put my mind at ease that Gawain's not just going to be an Escanor clone. She's going to have just as much depth as Escanor, but going in a completely opposite direction. And something else is going to happen where we're going to figure out why she's so bloodthirsty and whatever. Granted, if it's sunshine, she might calm down as the sun goes down, but we don't know what's going to happen. Now, lastly, I want to talk about, before this video is over, the whole idea that Gawain is the actual child of Merlin, and perhaps the child of Merlin and Escanor, or something like that. Now, sunshine, we can just chalk it all up to, well, Gawain was someone that ended up inheriting Sunshine, as Sunshine chose Gawain. Fair enough. But with how her outfit's like, her hairstyle, and the magic that she uses, it's very possible that she might actually be Merlin's daughter. And there's a lot that we can theorize with that, but with everything we just learned about and the mystery of Gawain, who Gawain actually is, it's possible Gawain might end up actually being Arthur's niece also, but also the daughter of Merlin somehow. Probably through like magic or whatever. And maybe she used a bit of Escanor's essence to basically like reincarnate him or whatever into Gawain or something like that. Either way, the whole idea that Gawain is like is like a daughter of Merlin or something like that seems to be more and more feasible with not just, the design of her outfit, but also the fact that, hey, we had Sunshine, we got a divine weapon similar to Escanor's that could heed her calls to just be summoned right off the bat. She can use Absolute Cancel, which, it's not like something that no one else can learn, but it's a Merlin signature thing to just cancel on magic. And she can teleport. Merlin can teleport. Not many characters can use multiple types of magics unless they use spell beads. It has been full on confirmed throughout the entirety of the Seven Deadly Sins and right now. Everyone has their core magic, maybe an extra magic or something like that. And if they're like a full on wizard, they can learn multiple if they have the aptitude for it. But Merlin is the one person that can do multiple types of magic. Gawain is giving off that type of characteristic and setup, which would be very cool if that ends up being the case. But yeah, that was this chapter of Four Knights of the Apocalypse. It was really good, very intriguing, and overall very hype. And I can't wait for the next chapter to come out because it's setting up to be like Percival versus Gawain. We might learn more about Gawain's powers and backstory or whatever. But this is going to be really epic because it's going to be two of the Prophesized Knights clashing out, seemingly full on, until like someone shows up to stop them. Like I said last chapter, Meliodas is probably going to show up at some point. And maybe we might get more into why Pelgard cares so much about Percival and just doesn't give, and was actually thinking and considering about just swapping sides, like Lancelot said. But yeah, that's essentially everything I got to talk about for this chapter. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below about what you thought about Gawain, this whole interaction with Pelgard. Do you think if, depending on why he stayed by Arthur's side, would he have swapped sides with Percival and decided to go over to the side of the Four Knights and the Sins? Or do you think that there's something else going on in the background? What do you say about Gawain actually being the daughter of Merlin? Or like the reincarnation of Escanor? What do you think is up with her and her whole bloodlust deal? And how do you think a battle between Gawain and Percival will play out? Leave all your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and I really want this channel to grow a bit more and so I can keep doing more videos like this in the future. And also, if you want to help the channel out more directly, please check out my Patreon and my Ko-fi accounts, as it will help with the channel immensely, as I do hire editors to help me out with these videos, as I do want to make them as good a quality as ever, and I have other video ideas and projects getting ready and on the wayside that I want to upload as soon as possible. So any and all help is much appreciated. And with all that said and done, I hope you guys have an awesome day.